Hey, what's up everybody? It's another week in real estate and I want to talk to you guys. The three things I want to go over today is my chat with Greg Jokers from RMS Loan Services. He's one of the top loan originators in the area, and I want to talk about my three takeaways from that chat. I want to talk about the hot topic, are we in a housing bubble? And the last topic is I want to talk to the move-up sellers. So anybody that owns a house right now who's been sitting on the sideline for the past couple of years, building equity and want to take advantage of the equity in their house and move up to that bigger property. So let's kick it off with the talk that I had with Greg Jokers last week. We spoke for about a half hour. We covered a variety of different topics, but three really stood out to me. What he really put a lot of emphasis on for first-time buyers or any buyers entering into this market is preparation. And it might seem a little obvious, but I can't tell you how many times people call me up on a Sunday saying that they just saw a house and that they want to get pre-approved at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. Offer deadline is Monday at noon, and they have not gotten a single piece of paperwork over to a lender to get them their pre-approval, because any offers that you write in today's market or in general needs to accompany a pre-approval. And what the pre-approval is it's a document from the lender saying that they've reviewed your financial situation and they feel confident that you're going to qualify for a loan. Any listing agent that takes an offer needs to see that. Not only do they need to see that, but they more than likely will call the lender to confirm everything that's been put on that document. So whether you're planning on getting into the market a week, 2 weeks, or a month from now, or even if it's 6 months from now, the first thing you need to do is you need to speak to a lender and get an overall idea of what you need in order to qualify. What does the lender need from you in order to qualify? Are you even going to be pre-qualified? So not only will those documents give you that idea, but it'll also give you an idea of what you can even afford. You don't know what you can afford. You may have a good chunk of money in the bank, but at the same time, you don't know what your monthly payment's gonna come out to. The mortgage lender will give you a full breakdown of what to expect and what he or she will need from you. The second interesting topic that we covered were interest rates. He does not foresee interest rates climbing anytime soon or substantially over the next year or two. And according to what the Fed has also said, is they're planning on keeping interest rates down for the foreseeable future. So I think that's great news, not only for buyers that are planning on getting into this market, but also for any sellers out there that didn't take advantage of the low rates last year to refinance. So this year is going to be another opportunity for whether you're a buyer or a seller to take advantage of the low rates, and even potentially into the 2022 as well. And the last topic that he covered that I also found very interesting, and it's not really any surprise to a lot of us realtors out there, but one of the biggest challenges for mortgage lenders today is properties not appraising out at the purchase price. So a quick rundown on that. The property, for example, a property goes on the market at $500,000 and you went $70,000 over asking. The property, so you're now at $570,000. The appraiser comes out from the bank and does the appraisal on the property comes in at $550,000 or $560,000. Now it's a situation, depending on how the terms are written in your contract or your offer, where there's now a negotiation that has to take place where either the seller needs to come down or the buyer needs to come up. So that's a sticking point, and what's common today is a lot of people are actually waiving those appraisal contingencies, so meaning that the property has to appraise out in order for them to buy it. That the property does not have to appraise out in order for them to buy it. So even if their purchase price is $570,000, whether the property comes in below that or above that, the buyer is still going to buy the property. The difference is that the buyer is going to have to come up with the difference in amount from the appraised value versus the purchase price. So those three things were the big takeaways that I got from our chat, and I thought it brought a lot of value to both buyers and sellers that are in this market. One of the hot topics this week, and I feel like it's almost every week, is that we're in a housing bubble. Meaning, and there's so many comparisons to 2008 and the Great Recession, and that, you know, people are going to lose their shirts and lose their houses, and it's just not true. I mean, you can go by opinions, but you really should go by facts, and that's all that matters are the facts. And the facts say that it comes down to supply and demand. Right now, we have, you know, inventory crisis. You know, that's what we have right now. That's the crisis that we're in, is that there's no inventory on the market. So in 2008, we had a surplus of inventory. There was tons of inventory for buyers to choose from, if you could actually qualify at that time. But that it couldn't be any more different right now. And I think, I forget, I can't remember the source. I'm gonna say it anyways though, but I think it was the number of houses that have been built over the years from in a 10-year period. The last 10 years is the least amount of houses that have ever been built in like a 100-year span. So we've slowed down a ton on building houses, and there's no surprise that we're in a shortage of inventory, which is just driving the prices through the roof. So, you know, from 2008 till now, they just couldn't be more different. There's a ton of demand. There's very little inventory. So the prices are going to remain strong. They interviewed 4 of the top financial analysts in this country, and they all agreed that the market is strong and price appreciation is going to continue to go up. So again, great news for sellers. Some of the buyers, you might be, you know, saying, is this ever going to slow down? Are we ever going to get an opportunity? Look, get into the market now and enjoy the appreciation as it continues to go up. If you're in a long-term hold for a house, appreciation is going to continue throughout the years. There'll be some years that are going to dip, but there's going to be the majority of the years, on average, your home is going to appreciate over the long term. So one other statistic that came out from the National Association of Realtors that I thought was interesting was they surveyed a certain number of agents throughout this country in the US, and they found that on average there were 5 offers submitted on every listing, or for the majority of the listings out there were 5 offers that were the average that were submitted. So I think that some of you might be saying, well, I submitted an offer and there was 20 offers on this. So, and there's certainly obviously going to be those situations, but on average, there's 5 offers on every house that's out there that's listed on the open market. So what does that mean for buyers? What does it mean for sellers? You know, the writing's on the wall. Obviously, it's a seller's market, and to say the least, it's competitive. So if you're a seller, this is definitely the time to list your home and help out with the inventory crisis, because there definitely is one. For buyers, it's competitive, there's no doubt about it, but something to soften the blow is that the money is cheap to borrow right now too. Interest rates are low and properties are continuing to appreciate, so you'll enjoy the appreciation year over year. I think in the greater Boston area, homes appreciated 10% from last year. That's a huge jump. So like we said, you bought a house last year for $500, you're talking about your house now being worth $550. So your house has appreciated $50,000 over 1 year. It's crazy. So moving on from the bubble, I wanted to talk about the homeowners out there that have been on the sidelines for the past 2 to 10 years, that have just been enjoying home prices continuing to go up. Life changes, girlfriends become wives and boyfriends become husbands, obviously, and life is constantly changing. Kids enter the picture, and next thing you know, you've outgrown the house. So moving up into that bigger house right now you couldn't pick a better time to do that. And in my opinion, it's you're going to help towards the inventory crisis, not only by putting your house on the market. You're going to get a ton of money for the house, and then you're going to become an even stronger buyer in the market, where you're going to move to the top of the chain in regards to your strength in purchasing, your purchasing power in this market. So you're going to have an opportunity to put your house on the market, accept an offer, find that next house that you want to buy, or put your house on the market, close on it, have an option to stay in the house until you find the next house that you want to buy, or you just extend the closing period out a number of times, or you close on the house and you start renting and you find the house of your dreams, the next move-up house. But move-up sellers, you're probably one of the most important demographics of this market right now, where it's probably between the move-up sellers and the downsizers, so the empty nesters. The empty nesters where, the husband and wife are living in the big 2,500, 3,000 square foot house. It's just the two of you. The kids are off to college, married, whatever it might be. Probably those two demographics are the biggest right now. And that's who needs to come to the market. We need more inventory, and those demographics are the ones that are going to kind of really shift this market, if anything. But it's a great time to take advantage of low interest rates. You're going to get top dollar for your house, and you're going to be able to move into that bigger house that you actually need, because the family of four now doesn't necessarily fit in that 2-bedroom condo in South Boston. So the market's hot. At the end of the day, whether you're a buyer or seller, it's a seller's market. It's a competitive buyer's market. But if you have friends or family that have any questions, need some help with some advice on anything having to do with the market, or just want to chat, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to chat with them or introduce them to any of the resources that I have access to. So that's it for this week. Stay tuned for next week.